You're listening to PlayStation Unchained.
Hello and welcome to PSU. Wonderful podcast, PlayStation Unchained. And we're here for episode 87. And we've got a show with plenty to whet your appetite. And we have four people to discuss video game based things for about an hour to an hour and a half. Isn't that wonderful? One of those wonderful people is the usual punctual, formal host that is Mr. Mike Harradence. How are you, Mike?
Very nice intro. I am good, thank you, Mr. Bolt. Just enjoying the weekend. Haven't actually done much the past week apart from work and working out, which is, a first for me because, as you know, I have such a huge, busy social life lately, which is why I keep missing podcasts. But no, I've since I'm going away next week and there for various things, I decided just to take it easy, really. So yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, I had the same problem this week. It's been a non-week, really.
In terms of work, it has as well. It's the week after Gamescom. It's summer. It's just been dead, really.
Yeah, I've literally been diddling along on the same article all week. It's just going on a line here today, and here today. So I could have had it done 4 times over by now, So good. Well, also we have the eternal pillar. Should he ever leave this podcast, the end times are predicted, and that's Mr. Ben Shillabeer-Hall. How are you,
God, they'd be like, oh no, goats everywhere. Where is he? Why are the goats? I'm good, thank you. And you? How are you?
Yes, as good as ever, actually.
See, they're incoming. The end days are coming.
Yeah, there may be a bit more touch of the goat this week than normal, as Ben is playing a lot of goat-based video games. Well, one.
For work.
For work, this time. Did we forget anyone? Oh, yes, we did. We forgot our resident sound man. Well, we say that in the loosest sense, as his choices in music are quite terrible. Kevin Rombouts. How are you? Rombouts. See, hey, when you
I may have a shit music taste, but you can't speak.
When you do your job right, I'll do mine.
It's okay, everyone.
Is that a challenge?
This will be fixed in post.
If that's fixing in post, I'd hate to see what it was like before.
It'll be when he gets finished editing it. The word "terrible" will replace with "amazing." You just won't be able to tell from the Google auto robot speak.
Amazing.
Well, I have been told I do sound like that sometimes, so it's not unlikely. All right, now we've had our little fun and games, I suppose we better get on with the old news. And we'll start with the most positive things in the world of PlayStation, of course, which is those monthly sales figures for the hardware. So, guys, have a guess. What console sold more in July?
The Wii U.
Yes, you're correct. Now,
yes!
move to the next story. No, of course.
The Sega Mega Drive.
Closely followed by the Neo Geo Pocket. Yeah. No, in America, once again, the PS4 has topped hardware sales. Surprise, surprise. Yes, the NBD? No, it's the NPD has announced that it was the top-selling console for July. The exact figures have not been revealed at this point, though Sony confirmed to us that the Batman Arkham Knight bundle is continuing to pull in an impressive amount of numbers. The quote we got from them was, "We are truly humbled by the success of the PS4, and we would like to thank gamers for making it the top-selling console and number one in software sales in the United States in July. The Batman Arkham Knight PS4 bundle continues to be a top seller, and we're looking forward to delighting fans next month with the launch of the limited edition Destiny, the Taken King PS4 bundle on September 15th. So it's been a good year. E3's been fairly positive, and it's in the UK as well. We've outsold the Xbox every month running, and of course 25 million units shipped worldwide. It's going well. So normally at this point we say, "Oh, is this surprising?" But we always say that it's not surprising anymore. What we should say is, does it matter at this point how many it's selling, considering how far ahead it is? Mike?
It's not surprising to me at all. As for whether or not it matters, I think, that's actually kind of a hard question in a way, because if the gap was, at the moment, we're not quite 2 years into the current gen hardware cycle, and if the gap was a little closer between the two consoles, as we saw with previous hardware cycles, then I'd say yes, it does matter, because anything can happen, and indeed that's the case, because PS3 actually, I know it was quite a few years later, but it did manage to catch up.
Yeah.
With the 360, I think it actually did catch up eventually, or very, very close. And we've seen with the various bundles and deals that have gone on last gen that this thing can make a difference, especially when it comes to things like the PS3 Slim, Super Slim, etc., etc. So, but with this, I mean, we know that it's the gap is it's pretty big. I mean, Microsoft hasn't gone beyond saying it's shipped 10 million. PS4 has shipped 25.3 million worldwide. I mean, I'm not going to say that it doesn't matter, because who knows what will happen down the line. But I don't know. I think at the moment Sony are in such a comfortable lead that I don't think they're probably sweating buckets right now, or bullets, should I say? Sweating buckets, sweating into a bucket maybe. But yeah, no, I don't think it's a huge concern at the moment. But I wouldn't write it off.
No, I was going to say next that with Microsoft have got fairly decent lineup going into the next few months. So
yeah, definitely.
That could possibly be where the tide may turn for the rest of the year.
Yeah,
but with such a lead, I wonder if it will be enough in the long term.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
that's it. Kevin, what about you?
Well, I don't really have anything to add to that. I mean, it's not really a big surprise. So that's kind of it, really. I don't really have anything to say more than Mike did. So,
do you think Xbox will put up more of a fight in the next few months with Halo and Gears of War Ultimate?
I don't know, actually. If we look at the fact that now you can play older games from the Xbox 360 on the Xbox One, and it doesn't really have changed that much of the sale numbers. So I don't think that another lineup will have that much of an impact as well.
No, that's it. Yeah, we were saying the other week about this, where the backwards compatibility is only so much, and not many people are going to want it in the long run.
Yeah, eventually, if you look at Xbox, you can play older games back, but while Sony does not have this option, they're bringing back the better games, and they are upgrading them as well.
Yeah.
So I think that while I'm personally not that big of a fan of continuous remasters, I think they have a step ahead of Xbox there, because they upgrade them as well.
Yeah, and then they're designed for the console they're on. Whereas, backwards compatibility, as Xbox proved the previous generation, they had a torrid time getting things to work on the next set of hardware. And because it wasn't built for the same sort of hardware. It's the main reason why we don't have backwards compatibility, is because PS3 was so difficult to work for in the first place. But, they'll hopefully solve that problem with streaming for PlayStation. Okay, Ben, what about you, man?
It's too late for backwards compatibility to be much of a difference.
Yes, I agree.
And I agree. I'm surprised the Xbox One's not catching up a little bit because of how cheap it is. It's like really cheap. So yeah, I am a bit surprised it's not catching up in some ways.
Yeah, just a bonus question to you on this one, because I had this debate with someone earlier. I say debate; it devolved into far less than that after a while. But they reckon the cloud could be Microsoft's savior. Do you really believe that would really be a big factor?
I don't think it'll be a massive factor, but I do think it'll affect it somehow.
Yeah, Mike?
I honestly, I have no idea about the cloud to even comment on it, to be honest. I just wouldn't have a clue whether it would be impactful or not.
Basically, it means that the game's left to run things at a higher performance rate, basically, leaving background details to the servers, if you will.
Oh, it sounds interesting, but it sounds, I don't know if it'd be, I mean, don't you have to have a good internet connection for that or something, or not?
Oh yeah, I mean, this is something I pointed out to someone earlier, is that with Crackdown 3, where they're talking about having a 100% destructible city with the cloud. But it takes up more bandwidth than many people in the UK can either get or afford.
Exactly. That's always the problem.
So it's still early doors. Probably work quite well for America.
Yeah,
America has worse than us, so
in places at least.
In places, we seem to get more peaks and troughs. I mean, Australia would just be straight out. No, that ain't going to work here because the internet's restricted as it is. And Kevin, what about you, man?
Well, I don't think cloud gaming is a good thing personally because, first of all, the internet connection, for it all to be on point, that it doesn't use that much connection as we can't use it because not everyone has the same ability to use that, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the things, and, well, I don't know. I don't feel right about it.
No, I don't think it'll be the be-all and end-all. It can be helpful, but
maybe it can be helpful, but I don't really feel like it has everything on point for it to properly work.
Yeah, no, I agree on that one. It's because, again, this was pointed out to me that, Titanfall used it to make sure that it had all these extra servers. It had the equivalent of 300,000 servers at its hands because of Azure. And yeah, it's all well and good, but like I was saying to the guys earlier, it's like if you're not going to use more than 30 of them after 3 months of the game's lifespan, is it really that big a deal?
It's just unnecessary because I played Titanfall in the very beginning because I thought it was a decent game after playing the beta, but eventually I didn't. Mm-hmm. But anyway, as long as I played it, I just realized that you know they use these servers. That's such a big thing. But if you look at it, there was like half of the people on the server were actually bots. They weren't even people playing.
Yeah.
And that's what I don't get. I mean, if you really want to use it, then, well, use it. Don't just throw in a bunch of bots and be like, yay, it works. No. That's not really convincing to me.
This is it. It's this whole thing about the extra power it gives. And yet it was basically a 6-on-6 Call of Duty.
The cloud are used to power the bots.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just like, they could do that in a real tournament. So
it's just a little 6-on-6 game.
But
and,
magic bot cloud.
Just kill some bots for extra points.
But cloud magic bots.
Anyway, let's not derail this too far. Next bit of news, of course, we had was we were talking about last week that obviously Sony weren't at Gamescom last week, and it sort of gave Microsoft that platform to speak on their own. But we did mention, of course, Sony would probably have another experience like they did last December. Lo and behold, this week, the week after Gamescom, Sony announced PlayStation Experience 2015. It's in San Francisco this year. Not quite as glitzy as Vegas, but yeah,
it's something.
Something.
It's in Scarborough.
Scarborough.
That'd be alright, because at least I could go if it was in Scarborough. But,
I would even come from Belgium to visit that.
So Sony announced that it will take place December 5th to 6th, with tickets now reduced to $60 for a 2-day pass if you register prior to September the 20th. After this, you have to drop $75 for a 2-day pass, with a single-day pass for Saturday and Sunday going for $45 and $40 respectively. Elsewhere, Sony also confirmed that the experience will host the Capcom Cup, which takes place over a single day on Sunday, December the 6th. And we'll see 32 players duking it out for their stake in a $250,000 prize pool on Street Fighter, I believe. And yeah, last year, of course, Uncharted 4 got its first gameplay reveal. What do you guys think we might see this year, Ben?
Goat Simulator 2 Electric Boogaloo.
It's a guarantee.
No, I think we'll see more on Guerrilla Games' title. I think we'll see an announcement of a not new God of War, but maybe a God of War by
Yeah, it's entirely possible.
And some more Uncharted 4 stuff. I think we'll see a live demo of the multiplayer because there's a beta test with the collection.
Yeah.
So I can see them going, by the way, that beta you got, it's playable now, or something like that.
Yeah, they'll have something big packed in there, that's for sure. What about you, Michael?
The only person who calls me Michael is my mum when I pissed her off. Michael! Sorry. I agree a lot with what Ben said. I think we're definitely seeing Uncharted 4. I think that'll pretty much be at every big event until it comes out. Well, I suppose there's not really much left now. I guess the PS experience is pretty much the next big one. But I think we'll see that. I reckon we'll have some sort of... It'll be gameplay related. Multiplayer, as Ben said, is a good possibility. Maybe some regular campaign stuff, but I don't know. But I think Horizon will have a good shot at being there. Possibly something. We'll definitely get some sort of reveal. I reckon some kind of new game, possibly from Quantic Dream, Sony Santa Monica.
Yeah.
I'm thinking because they did reveal Street Fighter last year, I believe that they will have something third-party related there as well. I have no idea what that could be. I would just say maybe something on Resident Evil.
With Capcom being there and part of it does sound possible, yeah.
Yeah, maybe Resident Evil 7, because, well, there's obviously they're working on something else, which we will talk about later, but it's probably a bit early for that.
Yeah, Resident Evil, what's your Operation Raccoon C2? Dane's Revenge.
Wow, you got there ahead of me this week.
Yeah, Dane will be there for that.
Yeah. And what about you, Kevin?
Don't really have that much to say again. I mean, I think we'll see some kind of teaser for a new game, and I'm going to guess it's going to be something like God of War 4 or something.
Yeah.
Because, I don't know, it's about time to see a new God of War appear, so I wouldn't be surprised if they would show a teaser like, hey, look, we got something incoming. Probably some Uncharted 4 material, definitely. I mean, it's PlayStation, and it's Uncharted. So
that would be weird. You think of that if you were to go out on a limb and just sort of make a wild prediction?
A remaster of a really fan favorite, but that's probably way too far fetched.
Well, like Crash Bandicoot, yeah.
That would be nice, but I'm not gonna say that. No, I was actually thinking of something different. I don't know what kind of different, but
Fez remastered.
Damn you, Ben.
I was thinking of another game actually, not Fairs. What was it? That one week. Five Ribbon. That's it. Five Ribbon.
Ribbon.
Yeah.
Oh yes, please.
I'm actually curious to see some proper games that were a really good single player game with a very big story and stuff. Maybe something like BioShock or stuff. I can see a remaster of that happen.
Cool.
Yeah,
I would love to. I would buy a remaster of any of the BioShocks instantly. I would love to have them on PS4.
Well, a BioShock Infinite remaster seems a bit unnecessary for me. So that would be just money. So just the first one would be good enough because the second one wasn't as good as the first one.
I am the second one. So
what if it's a trilogy bundle?
Yeah,
that might be an idea.
Yeah, all the DLC and all that. Yeah, it would work.
Maybe something like that. That would be cool.
So that happens now. Kevin said it first. So,
yeah.
You heard it.
Send me a free copy.
Okay, keeping it PS4 based though. The old firmware is getting updated again soon. Yes, firmware 3.0. It's going to be adding YouTube streaming, Twitter video uploading, and some other stuff that's probably never going to get used after the first 10 seconds. But, as is always the way.
Aye, laddie.
Basically, you can create communities within your friends lists, so you can dabble with people who have similar interests, which to me is usually everyone I can't be bothered to talk to online, but I have them anyway, and the people I know. Also, yes, they said the YouTube streaming is now there, which seems like a preferable option for many people, I find. And then there's a whole bunch of stuff for making improvements on the live streaming, watching sort of side of things. For Blu-ray and DVD playback, it gets better. Apparently there's something with stickers in the messages as well. Anything exciting in this update for anyone? Kevin?
What I did know is that Chris actually posted a a link to a tweet on the forums, and it said that there's more than the leaked changelog things. So I'm curious what else there is. I would love to see some damn sorting for once, because that home screen is still a mess. That's the one thing I'm actually waiting for. For the rest, I don't know. The YouTube streaming is a nice addition, because you can't have 2 Twitch accounts, I think. So it would be nice to have multiple, services available.
Yeah.
Compared to Ustream, which you have to pay for. So YouTube would be nice. The Twitter thing, I don't know. That seems useless to me.
It'll have a market. I think there's a culture for short, sharp videos.
Probably, but I feel like it's just one of those... Hello. It kind of feels like it's one of those little, let's just put that in, maybe people will like it.
Yeah.
While I'm quite sure there's a lot of people who are often spamming their requests and stuff, and they're like, we listen to people, but where's the sorting? Loads of people want to have the sorting, so why can't we sort yet? That's the one thing I want, actually. For the rest, I don't really feel that much interested in any of the changelog things.
I do worry they feel like they sorted that when they just said that you could cut down your home screen to 15 items. Just going by Sony logic, that's possibly their thing. We did that already. So.
Yeah. We did something.
What do you want from us? Come on.
God, we're not a company.
What do you think? We're made of money?
They need to bring back Kevin Butler.
If you want more sorting, then you need to reach 50 million PS4s. Then we might have money.
And you've got to buy 2 subscriptions to PlayStation Plus. Each.
We'll start Kickstarter.
Oh God! Ben,
save sorting Kickstarter.
Yes, Ben. What about you? Anything exciting on this one?
Oh, that Twitch thing looks amazing. I mean, the Twitter thing. Sorry. Oh, I want that.
Yeah, I think that would suit you, wouldn't it? Just a little short sharpies.
Yeah, I will love that.
Good stuff. And Mike, anything enticing you here?
Oh God, I'm so sick of firmware updates and updates. I'm always updating my computer with something or other. I just don't care.
I found it funny the other night. Actually, I was on this Tuesday because they're supposed to have maintenance next Tuesday. So setting this up, and the whole network went down for me. I said, "Oh, it's for maintenance." And I was asking around everywhere, and I was like, "Nobody else had it." I was like, "What? Am I just getting singled out for personal maintenance now?" So,
your PS4 is faulty. Take you down.
Yeah, we're just going to sort it for you. Go on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, carry on.
Sorted.
I updates. I honestly, as far as I'm concerned with firmware updates, I need to download it. It makes my PS4 better. I download it. There we go. That's the extent of firmware updates for me. Unless it introduces something like, I can't even think of something awesome. Some sort of weightlifting, awesome. What's that word that guy used to describe something awesome? That doesn't mean anything, but it's meant to be awesome. Schmuckle or something like that. It's called. I can't remember. It's a word to describe something awesome. But it doesn't actually mean anything. So unless they put that into it, I don't really care.
So Sony, you heard Mike. He wants the option to make his controller heavier.
Yeah.
And he wants the PlayStation Eye to track his movements. So when he weightlifts, it pops like a little calorie burner, so he knows how much he's burned.
Yeah, calorie burner. Yeah.
And now Peter Dinklage is out of a job. Can you get him to do motivational voice talk for him? Let's go. You can do it, Michael.
Yes.
The muscles came from the moon.
I was waiting for that.
Dear. Anyway, away from just the console itself.
Yes, that was gibberish from me there. Carry on.
It's good gibberish, though. We like gibberish here. Bit of Metal Gear Solid 5 news, because we should fill every week with Metal Gear Solid 5 news to Metal Gear Solid 5 and beyond.
We should have a Metal Gear podcast as well.
We really should, but I've completely forgotten about it. With,
we will sort that out. Expect him to be heading that up one up.
So I remember asking, and he was pretty much, "Yep, straight away.
Yeah.
I'm just happy my local game store is going to open up early for me.
Well, I just won't be able to do such things. So, yeah, that's it.
You'll get the greatest game of all.
The game
A
of life.
kid.
I already got one of those. So,
Well, you get the sequel, a second kid.
I've heard there's diminishing returns on that. So. Anyway, yes, Metal Gear, relatively small story in regards to it, but Kojima's talked about the difficulty in the Phantom Pain because some people weren't too fussed about the way it was in Ground Zeroes. They felt it was too difficult to play, and he said, through translation, if you felt Ground Zeroes was too difficult to play, I think you'll be okay with the Phantom Pain. The feeling of operation is intact, but it's much improved. There's the full-on recovery and support. You can also use the buddy. It's different from Ground Zeroes. It was a closed space where you could not escape. Yeah, which is very true. The Phantom Pain will offer a vast open world to explore as Snake infiltrates Afghanistan to seek that good old revenge on those buggers that took out his good squad. And yes, it's so very few short weeks away. I don't know who played Ground Zeroes here, but did anyone play Ground Zeroes here other than me?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I did.
reviewed it.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
So, did you find it a bit tougher than you would imagine?
I did find it quite tough. I remember, it's funny because I played it at a review event and only played it again about a couple of weeks ago. And it was just as tough then. I actually did found, well, actually I was a lot better at then, but the first time it was kind of hard. I mean, I play stealthy, obviously, as you do in a Metal Gear game. I mean, a lot of the other people were just charging around, blasting everything, but I tried to play it stealth-wise, and it was pretty tough. I can't really single out what was tough about it. I think it was just the AI was really, really good. You really had to be on the lookout and stuff. Obviously, you don't have a radar, so you have to tag everything. And it was just, there was just, I think it was very smartly designed. It was quite, the area itself was quite, some of it was a bit open, but as you got into the compound itself, there were a lot of corridors and stuff in the underground part especially, and there was, when you were on the surface, you had the guys in the watchtower, guys on the ground and stuff. You had sometimes they had vehicles there. It was just very well designed. You just had to really be careful and really plan out your next move. So I found that quite tough because I think the other Metal Gear Solid games are a little bit more forgiving. They definitely weren't as vigilant as that. I don't remember Metal Gear Solid 4 being quite as tough as that.
Even then, it was like, even though the radar system was still a bit different from the older
Yeah.
Metal Gears, Metal Gear 4 was still fairly simple to know what you were doing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, there were moments, where it was a
Yeah.
bit liminal, and it's like, but it wasn't that type of game the whole way through. So
No, yeah, it changed a lot. Well, Metal Gear Solid 4, the locations were quite different, weren't they? You went from one extreme to the other, but this was just good old-fashioned stuff. If anything, it reminded me of Metal Gear Solid 3, which was probably the toughest of the old, the PS2 Metal Gear Solid titles. So yeah, but it was tough, but that doesn't mean that I didn't enjoy it. I liked the challenge. I thought it was really, really good. So, if the Phantom Pain is as hard as this, then I'll be pleased about that. That's what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
I welcome the challenge. Yeah, I don't think it was unfair though. It's wrong to say it definitely wasn't unfair.
Oh,
I want to make sure of that. It was only tough if you made mistakes. It punished you. But then again, it rewards you if you do things right, and it's really satisfying. Really was.
It's like one of those games that does just reward you for trial and error, if you will.
Exactly, yeah. Being patient, planning things out. It really felt like, and getting the prisoner out without being seen, especially, it's always just really, really satisfying.
So exhilarating.
Yeah, it is.
Right.
It really is. Yeah, I almost did that on the most recent time I played it. I almost got what's the woman's name? Paz, yeah, I almost got her out, but I was seen by some guy in a watchtower behind me, and it's just like one person sees you and just buggers everything up, and my helicopter got shot down. It was like, oh god. But yeah, that. Sorry, I went on a bit there.
No, it's good. It's a damn good game. For what it was, it's a really good game.
Very, definitely.
What about you, Ben? What did you think difficulty-wise?
I thought it wasn't too bad. I found it a bit difficult though, but not as bad as people seem to think it is.
So you welcome it being a bit more accessible for the Phantom Pain?
Oh yeah, I look forward to it. I did find it a bit annoying, but considering the location, I understood why it was.
Yeah, it was grounds for testing things out, basically.
Yeah. Who's been saying it was hard then?
Apparently, just the community from.
Oh right, really?
It's, Kojima just coming back to it and saying, "Well, no, I understand some people had trouble with it." I think it was more the casual crowd because it's a lot harder in some respects. But then the controls have been sort of changed enough to sort of balance that out. I find yeah.
All right,
Kevin, I assume you say you didn't play it.
Is that the Metal Gear Solid that was on PS Plus the other day?
Yes.
I tested it out, and in the very first level, I was trying out the controls. I managed to slide off the edge within 3 seconds, and I didn't like it. I don't know. I didn't feel comfortable playing the game. I tried some more besides the sliding of the edge, but I don't know. I didn't really feel comfortable playing it. It felt really weird control-wise to me. I don't know why. It's probably because I'm not used to it, but I also have quite some games that I still have to play that I pushed aside, so I didn't really bother trying more.
You can do it in a couple of hours, so it's fairly simple to go through once you have a go. Go on, have another go, Kevin.
I'll have to re-download it.
Okay, let's move on. We've got a bit of Destiny double bill. Now, as we mentioned before about Peter Dinklage being out of work. Well, he's not really out of work, but in terms of the video game world.
Nope, he's completely out of work. This was just,
Nolan North's even going to replace him on Game of Thrones. That would be something, I'll tell you.
I might watch Game of Thrones if that happened.
Nolan North.
I agree.
It's going to be
I'll watch that too.
Is it really? Yeah, because then Nolan North will just be on his knees pretending to be a dwarf. So, yeah, that'd be fun. So yeah, of course, last week there was this whole thing about Nolan North replacing Peter Dinklage is in vocal terms as Ghost in Destiny, and we made several different theories as to why last week. And yeah, it basically turns out that they just needed someone who actually had the time to keep working on the game, which Peter Dinklage didn't. So they went with the man who seems to have more time than anyone in the world to do everything, Nolan North.
He only does everything.
He only does everything. The game's executive producer, Mark Noseworthy, said the decision to replace Dinklage with Nolan North wasn't based on feedback from fans on Dinklage's performance as Ghost. He was quoted as saying, "It's more on the Hollywood nonsense side of things." He said, "Dinklage was awesome to work with on Destiny, but we just needed to work with someone who is more available." Which, when you're on a TV series that takes up most of your life each year, it's not going to make you very available, I suppose. Nolan is a pro, and this is his thing, he continued. We can call him up and say, "Hey, next week, can we do this thing? We're doing this internal play test, and it'd be great to get some Ghost dialogue in there instead of that robot voice that we use." And he's available. North will, of course, record all new dialogue for the Taken King expansion and re-record all of Dinklage's previous work from the main game. So, what can we really say on that bit? I suppose it's... at least it isn't just, we don't like that people didn't like Peter Dinklage, so we're replacing him. I suppose that's good enough, isn't it, Mike?
I love how you say it, worded it like that. That's good enough, isn't it, Mike? No, not really. Yeah, it's fair enough. Yeah, I mean the reasons behind it is fair enough. I mean, obviously Peter Dinklage, when you're working on a TV series, then obviously you're not going to be as available. And I mean, and that's still going. It's as big as, even though I don't watch it, I know it's incredibly popular. It's as big as ever. It's still going. He hasn't died, so he's going to be working on it. His character, that is, not Peter Dinklage. So the only thing that I still don't understand, I'm not trying to beat a dead horse, is why they feel the need to replace all his dialogue. I don't know why they can't just keep him in there and they just add Nolan North and to record anything beyond that, because it seems they're just trying to erase him from Destiny, and I still don't understand why they want to do that. But I suppose it's just for continuity's sake. But I don't personally see the need to do that, because it's just, some people, me and myself among them, liked Peter Dinklage in the game, and just want to be able to enjoy his performance in there, have a laugh and stuff. But I guess I do understand why. I will begrudgingly admit I understand why they're doing it, and it's probably for continuity in terms of re-recording all the stuff. But I just don't think it's necessary. I don't see that they need to completely erase him from the game. But there we go. Yeah,
Time will tell, I suppose. On this.
Time will tell. Yeah,
That's it.
but at least there's no bad feelings. That's the main thing.
Kevin, you played Destiny?
I have. I didn't really like it that much, though. I don't really.
What games do you like, Kevin?
I'm not easy to please, I know.
Metal Gear, Destiny.
No, the reason I personally didn't like Destiny as much is mostly because I'm not good at shooters on console. I won't lie about that. And I just felt like it was ridiculously overhyped for what it was.
Yeah, well, I didn't buy into the hype with Destiny because, like you, I didn't even like shooters at all that much. And so when I got onto it, I was pleasantly surprised. I never buy into hype anymore.
Yeah, I would agree, actually, on first initial play of it. I wasn't really that interested because I had no interest in Halo, of course, that Bungie made before.
Yeah.
And I'd hated that series. And it's so I was surprised at first that it was really competent as a shooter and did well. But yeah, I don't know, it just loses its way after a while for me.
It's a hell of a grind. Yeah. Sorry, I don't mean to derail anything, but it is a hell of a grind. I haven't played it in a while now, actually.
Yeah. Sorry, carry on, Kevin. Sorry.
So I don't really like the whole series. I tried for a while, but to reply on the article, I kind of see Mike's view that I don't really completely understand why they have to like erase Peter's voice and just put another one in.
I would assume because they'd have to keep paying him and Nolan North, but
yeah, I can see why, but it feels unnecessary because that's extra work for nothing, I guess.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, North's got a good voice, so why not?
Yeah. I think someone pointed this out the other day. People rag on him for always know when Nolan North's in the game, but that's because many companies just employ Nolan North to sound like Nolan North, but he's actually got quite a good range as an actor.
Yeah, so now people are going to get voiced by Drake.
So I mean, he's so much more than that. It has to be said. That is quite fair because there's only the odd little inflection in The Last of Us where I could tell that he was David in that game. Like that.
I knew it was, but it was quite a surprise after
he was
actually noticing that.
Yeah, and it was good. That's what I mean. He can sound different and do different things. But
I didn't even know it was him, so that's a testament to how well good he is. Yeah,
I was majorly impressed. That was one of my favourite sort of vocal performances out that year because he did that creepiness so well.
He actually also does that. Who's that guy? Was it Dr. Edward? A German voice on Call of Duty Zombies, I think. He voiced that as well.
He plays Deadpool as well.
He plays a lot. Let's put it that way.
The man's got a long history.
Yeah, say the least.
A good one.
In fact, he was Two-Face when Troy Baker took up the Joker in Batman Origins. So, I think briefly. Yeah. So, never mind. Nolan North never going to go out of work. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm. So, no, he just puts everyone else out of
work. Him and Troy Baker and Roger Craig Smith. So, seeing the three of them. Yeah. Carrying on with the Destiny news, of course, the CEO of Activision came out and said that they could have done better in regards to dialogue and the story itself in explaining it. Eric Hirschberg, yeah, I got that right, acknowledged the various quibbles gamers had with the ambitious shared world shooter, though remained confident that they still succeeded in other areas, notably in combining MMO elements with a first-person shooter. He said, in terms of things we could have gotten better, I think everyone would agree that we could have got some of the story and dialogue down better the first go around. I think that there have been some improvements already with the following content. It was a big, complex development with lots of moving parts. I think the game really nailed the investment into a character. I think the core idea that attracted us to this concept when Bungie first showed it was the idea of taking some of the best elements of MMOs and putting them into the adrenaline rush that is first-person shooters. He says it was totally unproven that you could do that, but the game really delivers both a great, well-tuned first-person shooter as well as a progression system and investment in your character and world that you really care about that drives tremendous engagement and fun. Yeah, so basically admitting what they did wrong on the game, but then pimping it for all it's worth. Ben, I will go to you first on this one because I tragically missed you out on the last bit. So,
oh yeah, I just want to add, what they could have done instead of getting rid of Dinklage is go, oh, it looks like your ghost has been upgraded somehow via space magic and now has a new voice.
Space
magic.
Space magic.
Well, it's you can talk about it as much as you want, Bungie, as long as you provide the goods. And it's not worth talking about until the game expansion comes out.
Yeah, but then this is the cycle with Bungie and Activision with this game. It's hype, sorry, hype.
I want some sorry hype. Just
sorry,
to balance
hype.
out.
Sorry, hype. Oh, we're so sorry. I really love this game. Yes, it's... Yeah. Who else have I got to go to? Everyone else, basically. Mike.
Yo.
What about you? What are your feelings on the old story and dialogue?
Oh, the Destiny. I agree that they did get a lot right with the game. I mean, as a shooter, I think I'm not a shooter expert, but I was impressed with it. The bread and butter gameplay is impressive, I think. But yeah, the story is the biggest gripe for most people. My friend Tim, who likes shooters and stuff, he says he doesn't play Destiny because he can't be bothered to play it around there anymore because of the fact that it has no story. So he says, and it is lacking in that department. There's a lot of lore there, but it's not in game because you use the Grimoire cards or something.
Grimoire, yeah.
Yeah, Grimoire. So you have to access that online and stuff. And instead of being in the game, like it should, so you can read up on the lore in game. So they missed a trick there, and I think the Yeah, I mean, yeah. Obviously, I said I like Dinklage's ghost stuff in that, but he's probably, is probably, he's probably like the only character you can remember from the game because everyone else is just so nondescript.
Yeah,
There's just not enough meat in it. They have cutscenes and there's a chance there's some exposition in there, but it just doesn't get into anything. They sort of like glaze over things, but there's not really a deep kind of narrative running through it. It's just like, oh right. So they're doing this because of this, but what about this? Why did this happen? When did this happen? Who's that? Kind of thing. There's not. You hear a lot of names and stuff, but you don't like. There's loads of different characters and stuff, and people you can read. There's loads of named characters in that game, but you don't know who are half of what they look like or what they even do because there's just nothing there.
Yeah.
So it is really lacking, and I think it's a shame because I actually find the locations and the backstory, what there is, quite intriguing. I just think it just needs a hell of a lot of fleshing out.
Yeah, I mean, I still wonder why they couldn't have just told a lot of the story through the world itself.
Yeah, exactly.
Many games manage that quite well, and
yeah. Just ditch the Grimoire cards and put it in game.
Yeah, just how things give clues to things.
Files to read or something. Yeah,
yeah, just maybe something on the landscape that tells you something, or like finding someone dead in this corner or something that's happened. Something for people to talk about.
Yeah, memoirs, diaries, or something, anything like that. Yeah,
yeah, you could pick up.
Keep the Grimoire cards, but have them as something you can actually view in a gallery.
Yeah, or maybe have them like a hologram projection that comes out of like these corpses' arms or something when you find certain things around.
Or just have it in Ghost. Have Ghost projected.
Yeah, just have Ghost consume the corpse. And then
that's it. He'll scan certain things and then come out with a little fact. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, maybe they'll do that more now. They've got someone who can keep doing dialogue, as they say. Maybe that was the problem before, that they maybe wanted to do that, but they couldn't get Dinklage to do enough, time-wise. So who knows? As I said, they got a long-term plan for it, so it might work out yet.
Yep.
That's it. Kevin, anything more to add on this one?
Nope.
There you go. I like that.
Kevin, a man of few words.
It came from the nope.
So yeah, let's move on to other ambitious studios, I suppose we could say, on this one. Bethesda, unsurprisingly, say that The Elder Scrolls 6 isn't happening anytime soon. Not as one website said this week, Skyrim 2 isn't happening soon. Yeah, it's like an actual professional website said that. A video gaming website. Who admittedly far bigger than us, called it Skyrim 2. Just remember that.
I did actually hear it. I did hear Skyrim 2 put out there, but I honestly didn't know it was a professional site issue.
Oh yes. I'm not naming names because I don't like to throw shade at these people.
So pro, bruh.
Yes. Anyway, yes, Bethesda's Pete Hines has revealed it'll be a very long time before we hear about a new installment in the Elder Scrolls franchise. Speaking at Gamescom the other week, Hines said that the team is focused 100% on the upcoming post-apocalyptic RPG Fallout 4, which of course arrives on PlayStation 4 in November. Aside from developing the game itself, there's also plenty of other things to keep Bethesda busy in regards to Fallout 4, including mod support and post-launch content. At this point, it's been 4 years since Skyrim, and let's not forget they said a lot of this in the last year talking about Fallout. Oh, well, we will do it, just we don't know when. And clearly, the whole time they were working on Fallout 4. So they're clearly doing something with it, for all they say. But when do you think we'll see it, Ben?
Next year.
Next year?
Yeah, next year.
Next year? I mean, what, in release or just like first reveal?
No, we're still revealing the release next year.
You think they'll do it again? Just
yeah.
Sort of surprise. Yeah, not bad.
Skyrim 2's Morrowind Boogaloo.
Don't say that. Kevin, what about you?
I don't know. I'm actually the fact that they still have the Elder Scrolls Online, so I don't instantly see a new one pop up. I would rather see them make more expansion packs for that instead. Focus a bit more on getting that game proper, up, running, more content, and then maybe looking towards a new game.
Yeah, that's fair enough. And
even mentioning Elder Scrolls Online just makes me yawn.
What do you reckon it'll be out next year or revealed next year though?
Good question. Not next year, maybe the year after that.
A good 2017.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I could kind of see that. There's got to be at least a couple of years between a Fallout and an Elder Scrolls, I think. Gary's listening on us and wants to say so much about Bethesda right now. So, but he can't speak.
Well, we can speak it for him. Say the word, okay. Write the words, Gary, and we shall say the words.
Yeah, say the words really quick because I'm going to move on in a minute. So.
Well, I've still got to talk.
Yes, that's it. Well, I'm not going to forget you, Mike. Come on. So I don't forget people at all.
Sorry, I was just itching. I just thought of everything to say. I was just itching to talk. Oh, I can't wait.
It's not like I forget people. I could spend just a few minutes.
Yeah, because it's so easy to forget someone like me.
Yes, well, you're always here. I just kind of expect you to have said something.
Yeah.
I'm sure I heard someone say something about a goat. So anyway, yes, Mike. What about you? When do you think we'll see Skyrim 2?
Skyrim 2? Well, I think we'll see Skyrim.
Oh, no. When will we see Morrowind 3?
Or Morrowind 3. Well, with the Elder Scrolls games, there's always, from what I can tell, there's always 4 to 5 years gap between each Elder Scrolls game. Morrowind to Oblivion was 4, and Oblivion to Skyrim was 5. I think it's about, I'm not sure about, sort of Fallout is always in between that. I think it's usually 2 or 3 years. But I don't think, as much as I love to, I think Ben's being a little bit optimistic about next year. I think that's way too soon. I think it's going to be 2017 at the earliest, because I just can't see them. I mean, looking back, I'd love it to be next year, but even though it's been, 5 years will be next year. So fair enough, if they're going by that, then Ben's bang on. But I think it's going to be a bit later than that because the games are getting more ambitious. They're taking longer to develop. You've got post-launch content now and nowadays, which wasn't around back in Morrowind's days, and not really so much in Oblivion. It was obviously, but it's getting more ambitious now. There's much more they can do. They've got mods now with Fallout 4 for consoles. as well, which is a huge step forward. I just don't see with the Elder Scrolls Online. I think that's a lot. I know that it hasn't been well received, but I think that's a long-term plan with them. And with that, I just think that they're going to wait. I think this one might be a little bit longer before it arrives because of that. If they didn't have the Elder Scrolls Online, I'd probably say a bit sooner. But I do think it's going to be a little while before we see 6. I'm not saying we're not going to hear anything, but in terms of a release, I don't think it'll be here until 2017, late 2017.
Very good.
That's just me, and it's nice to have a little counter to what other people say, you know.
Yeah, of course.
But I hope for the record, I hope Ben's right because I love Elder Scrolls.
Yeah, I probably agree on it being 2017, just to give a gap and breathing room between their two franchises that are huge. Plus, Dishonored 2 can take 2016 as their big game.
Oh yeah, of course they got that, haven't they? Yeah, Dishonored 2.
Yeah, that's not they're going to make Brink 2. So
Day one.
Anyway, let's move on. Cool. Uncharted 4 is sticking to its roots. No character leveling system is planned. So yes, Naughty Dog has confirmed it will not implement a character progression system into Uncharted 4 A Thief's End, explaining the anticipated action-adventure sequel is sticking firmly, they say, to its roots. The studio was asked by PlayM, I assume it's a magazine or a website, at Gamescom 2015 last week.
I think it's a website.
Yeah,
forum website.
Yeah, well, there you go. I've given you a shout-out. That's enough. They asked Naughty Dog if it was considered going down a similar path to The Last of Us. The sense that the game utilised a progression system for its main protagonist. In response, Naughty Dog's community manager, Armea, confirmed that Nathan Drake's final outing will be adhering to the series template, and that a progression system would only disrupt the flow of Uncharted 4. The Last of Us is a more methodical, slower-paced romp, while Uncharted is more action-packed with faster gameplay. Mayer added that the recent E3 demo acts as something of a summary of what Uncharted 4 has to offer, not to mention an impressive showcase for its visuals. And of course, it's due out next year. Do you feel that choosing this path will not evolve the series, or is it right to stick to its guns? I'll ask Mike first.
That's a good question. I do like Uncharted, but I also like The Last of Us. But they are two different games in the sense that, I mean, they're both in the action-adventure category, where you could argue The Last of Us is kind of almost survival horror in some parts, and a more survival-based thing. But you could see one going. You could see one going one way and one going. Both going the same way in that sense, I guess. But I think Uncharted, for what it is, I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying it wouldn't work well. I think it would give you something extra to think about. But I just think it may, like they say, it may interrupt the pace of the gameplay because you don't want to be worried about that kind of stuff because it is very fast paced and it's very in your face. Whereas again, it's like they said, The Last of Us is much more methodical. You have to think about things a little bit more. You have to take your time. With pretty much everything, just from scavenging supplies to combat as well. So even combat, it's not as fast paced as Uncharted. There's a lot of ducking behind cover, creeping around. It's more stealth based, I think. Even though Uncharted is kind of, from what we've seen, number 4 seems to be moving more in a stealth way because the various ways you can hide in shrubbery and everything like that. But even so, I think it's important to keep, and if for nothing else, I think it's important to have Uncharted stay how that is, and they've got The Last of Us how that is. I think so, kind of to differentiate the two franchises. And I'm not saying it wouldn't work, but I just think I think it would kind of be betraying what Uncharted is about if they changed it. I'd rather it stay how it is. And not more importantly, there's many other ways they can evolve Uncharted without having to go down a character progression route, which we've already seen. Not just the visuals alone, we've already seen stuff with the having a more open world to explore, more stealth options, more exploration, the Jeep that you can use. There's many ways. Nathan Drake's, his repertoire has been increased with the axe, the pick hook, or whatever it is to climb up. His moves, his takedowns, all this kind of stuff. There's plenty more ways you can evolve a series, and I think they're already doing that. So that's what I think. Sorry if I rambled.
That's good. Good little discussion on that one. That's really good. But I would also add that might give a clue as to these have these more open sections. It may only just be sections of the game that are that open.
Yeah.
Because if they're still going to keep along the same route, you could see that, if they're not going in any sort of progression sort of system, it suggests the game is still quite tightly focused, especially with what you said, it's still very action-packed.
Yeah.
So it might give us more scope, but probably very similar to the way people have described the Phantom Pain, in the sense that you can have some open worldness to it, but still tell the story quite well.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So, I would go with that. Kevin, what about you? What do you say?
It would be weird if suddenly there would be a level system for characters. It wouldn't feel like Uncharted. I mean, you've played 3 games, and you keep having the same character throughout them, and then suddenly it would be like, oh, well, it's the 4th game, so here's an upgrade. That would feel really weird, personally.
Especially as he's really invincible already. So.
Yeah, pretty much. So I'm pretty glad they just, stay true to the series as well.
Yeah.
And that's good.
Good.
Damn right.
Good stuff.
That's all I can say. It's good.
That's good. Well said.
Sorry, Neil, can I just add something real quickly? Sorry, I should have mentioned this. I think, if anything, one thing in terms of evolving stuff, I think Uncharted Golden Abyss was brilliant in the sense that it had the artifacts that you could collect, and you have the charcoal robins and stuff, and they even had like a little monologue by Drake about certain objects with a little bit of history. I thought that was a brilliant natural evolution of something that Uncharted has, like the artifact collection. I thought the way they did that was really good, and I think they should I think Naughty Dog should take a leaf out of Sony Ben's book there. I thought that was really good, because the other Uncharted games, they didn't have that comprehensive system in place.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. It was a very welcome part.
Definitely, that was really good. Yeah,
fair enough. Ben, what about you?
I can understand why there's no leveling system, though. I would like to see a weapon upgrade system, maybe. That'd be pretty cool.
That would be sweet.
Yeah, that could work.
How it worked in Resident Evil.
Yeah.
That would be a nice little feature. But, it would be a bit weird. Oh no, I can't make this jump. I guess I'll go back, kill a few enemies so I can level up a bit more, so I can gain a skill point. So I can do slightly longer jump.
Yeah, that wouldn't work, would it?
Oh no, I can't fight this boss because I don't have enough skill in ducking.
Yeah. I can't crouch in grass quite enough to bypass these enemies.
With weapon upgrades, Ben, do you mean like that you can find items throughout the game and upgrade a weapon, or do you literally think like, you've reached this amount of kills, so you get an upgrade?
Well, no, find stuff to upgrade, like weapon desks and stuff like that.
That was always the best way. Yeah.
You've got a pistol.
That would be fine.
You can add a scope.
Kind of like the crafting in The Last of Us.
That would be interesting, because that actually gives a sort of progression as well to the game. But it would be really weird if people were like, "Oh, you have 100 kills. Here's an upgrade." Poof. Like what? That would be really off guard and just wrong.
Maybe they could get Peter Dinklage to do a voiceover saying "double kill" and
multi-Drake.
multi-Drake. Sully damage. Let's move on to a different game.
Double Elena.
Double Elena. Quadruple
romantic scene.
Uncharted Wall.
Uncharted Wall. Christ on a bike. Okay. So, let's go to some Final Fantasy 15 base news. It's 2 stories, but in one. That's the way I'm doing things. Start part of the story is that Final Fantasy 15 is going to release simultaneously around the globe. That's right. No more waiting months on end or buying an import and pretending you understand Japanese. No, you will be able to play Final Fantasy 15 at the same time as everyone else around the world, provided you've got the money to pay for it. Yes, it's quite unprecedented here, because normally Japan gets it. Well, you think back to Final Fantasy 7, 8. It was a year, I think, was difference between.
Yeah. And with Fantasy 8, if you imported it, you just got a black screen because there was a lockout chip.
So especially with all the translation as well that have to do with the dialogue, it's impressive, I suppose, that they're even going that far. But as we carry on with that story, it was also mentioned in that same interview with Hajime Tabata. Tabata, how do I say it right?
Yeah, Hajime Tabata. Yeah,
that's it. Yes, Hajime Tabata. It's like, it doesn't sound like a ciabatta at all, honestly. That's me on the blacklist. He also mentioned that the character design is more grounded in reality. He was quizzed as to why characters in the most recent footage are all dressed in black. In response, he said, "Well, we've met Ben Shillabeer-Hall, and he likes black, and so we put them all in black." No.
We modelled it after one person we met in London once.
Yeah, we wanted the champion of Final Fantasy XIV to come forth and promote this game, as they say. No, he said that the team wanted to feature more realistic character designs and that real clothing designs will be included in the JRPG. Realistic clothing, not the fact they're fighting monsters. Elsewhere, confirmed that the recent trailer was compromised entirely of in-game footage and should give players an idea of the direction Final Fantasy XV is taking. It's still scheduled to come out next year. So it's a two-part question. Is it surprising that it's going to get worldwide release at once? And are you looking forward to a more grounded Final Fantasy? I'll start with our resident Final Fantasy fan, Ben.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yes, but they're talking about it being more grounded ever since it got announced as Versus, so I'm not really surprised with like the shoes being from like real life companies and stuff like that. That's always been part of it.
Gary says nobody in their right mind will dress like the characters in Final Fantasy 15.
I would. I mean, I'd look so sexy in Sydney's outfit, wouldn't I?
That's confirmed now.
So yeah, I don't know. I would dress like them, not all the time, but it's not too bad. It's not like it's that bad.
Gary has now said, Ben, you've never been in the right mind.
Yeah.
So.
Just because my character in Final Fantasy XIV has a schoolgirl outfit dressed like a Moogle does not mean I'm not in the right mind. Anyway, so yeah, I don't see the problem.
Right.
But I'm worried about if it is based on real outfits that in the futures, if it ever gets a re-release, because that never happens nowadays. Nothing ever gets re-released or remade.
Perish the thought.
Yeah, I don't know what. I'm sorry for giving people the idea about that. Are they going to have licensing issues with the real life clothing manufacturers if they don't exist anymore?
Is that why we've never seen a proper remaster of Devil May Cry 2? All that diesel clothing they had in there. Or is it just because it's shit?
A little from that. Hey, what do you mean, diesel clothing on the game?
Yeah. Evil, right? So, yeah, are you surprised about the idea of a worldwide release?
Yeah, well, yeah, a little bit, but their idea of worldwide release doesn't mean that it'll include Europe. Persona 5 will be out worldwide in 2015.
Yeah, it's like
in North America and Japan.
It's like PES, it's out worldwide on the 15th. But if you're in the UK, the place where football's mainly played and everyone loves it, you're going to get it last.
Yeah, so Final Fantasy 15 could be a worldwide release.
Yeah,
just Europe might not be part of the world anymore.
Floated off to be our own space continent. I'll pass it around then. Kevin, any opinions on that?
Well, actually, I feel like every game should just be a worldwide release and, include Europe as well. I mean, that kind of sounds normal and logical. But no, now it's like, I want to play that game. You'll have to wait a month. Damn you. For no reason, actually. And that's pretty stupid, but there's nothing we can do about it.
Yeah, I think with Japanese releases, it's more the sort of changing the voiceovers and the text and everything else. And that's where the problem lies normally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can get that, but, you would think they would announce like a date that's later than, so they still have time to do that.
Yeah,
you know.
but then they've been working on this for what, like half a century or something, and it says
Time enough to do the voices.
yeah. So yeah, exactly. No wonder they can say they got worldwide release. They've had about 4 Final Fantasies worth of time to do it. So yeah.
So who's to blame?
Who's to blame? Nobody's to blame. So, what about you, Mike?
I'm not really surprised. I think this has been coming for a few years now. I mean, I remember back in, I think we're all of a certain age here to remember like the 90s and stuff where it would come out in Japan in like one part of the year, then it would probably be like 10 months until we got hold of it because of all the translations and stuff. I certainly remember that with Final Fantasy 7, 8 and 9 at least, and then it gradually got, I mean, 10 was more or less the same, but I think it's got slightly better. I think, wasn't 10 or 10.2 quite similar in release? I'm sure it was.
Yeah,
I'm sure there wasn't as much.
I did it worked quite closely with both, didn't they? So
yeah, so I'm not
12
surprised.
was ridiculous. 12 was insane.
What was that?
Well, 12 didn't come out till the PS3 came out, so
yeah, it was very. That's why it gets forgotten a lot. I think because it's the time it sort of came out.
All right. Well, yeah, I think this has been a long time coming, actually. They've been working on this for a while, I think, and I think they've always wanted to like try and release them as quick as possible. I think I remember reading about this before at some point, that they wanted to try and get the releases near to coincide, so I'm not surprised. As for the costumes and stuff and sorry. I've just been told I've been tapping my keyboard again without knowing. Sorry. I don't think it's... I'm not really bothered about this either way. I mean, I appreciate good fashion, I guess. I really want to say. I mean, I like dressing up and looking good, and if my game characters look good, then that's awesome. But to be honest, really, I couldn't really give a rat's ass.
That's one for the box. That's right.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Now, is that everyone? Did you speak on this?
I did, I think.
I think so, yeah.
There we go. We're all done. Wonderful.
Unless
we
there's
even
another
got a guest speaker with Mike's keyboard.
He's typing out Morse code for Gary.
Yeah.
Well, okay. One last main story. Dying Light, which came out at the beginning of the year, has sold 5 million copies, which is rather impressive. And also, on a similar note, they said that any sequel might be too ambitious for PS4 and Xbox One. Yes, Techland's, I'm going to say this right, Taimon's. Why does everyone have such buggering weird-ass names? It's just...
I know, it's the part I dread for each time when I'm hosting, reading out some guy's name. It's like, this bloke said.
In all fairness to Taimon Smektala, you've made a wonderful game, but Christ, put like phonetic spelling of these names when you have...
Just call him Smecky.
Smeggy.
I'm going to call him
Smeggy.
Smek. Yeah. He came out and said in an interview with Video Gamer, wonderful site, revealed that it may be too ambitious for PlayStation 4. He says too early to go into detail about a sequel to the studio's critically acclaimed zombie adventure, but he made it clear the former Dead Island creator has a number of ideas brimming away for a follow-up. Basically, he goes on to say that there's lots of ideas they have, but they're not sure if they can be implemented into this generation's tech. They say this, but they've shelved their other game they're making to make a sequel to Dying Light. So that would suggest they are going to make it, within the next few years. Question-wise, it's a weird one here because it's great that it's done 5 million. It's more about the fact that Warner Brothers, as a publisher this year, have done really well. It's like their games, Mortal Kombat 10 is currently the best-selling game of the year, weirdly. And
is it?
Yeah, you missed that.
Damn.
Yeah. Dying Light's in the top 10, and then you've got Batman. Mad Max is shaping up to be another surprise hit by the look of it. And they generally, sales-wise, they are the best company around at the minute. So that's good for them. But the main question I'll come out of this is, what's too ambitious for current gen, do you think, that they might have in plan? So, Ben.
It has two. It wants to be 4K. I don't know. Maybe the map is too... maps... No, it can't be too big. Maybe this is crazy. I'm going to go with crazy.
Crazy. I've always thought of Techland's games, to be honest, that they always seem to shoot for the moon. And no matter what... I mean, Dead Island is proof positive of that. It's like, oh, we got this great idea. Do you have the tech to do it? Nope, but we're going to do it anyway. It just... So, yeah, it ended up being a very flawed game with some really, really good ideas. And Dying Light less so. I mean, they nailed most of their ideas this time around. But yeah, they keep going about. You only have to look at the DLC coming up the following, where they're going to add a whole other map that's as big as the rest of the game combined, so they can add vehicles and do new stuff. It's like you can't fault them for their ambition on that front. But Kevin, what about you? Yeah.
What was the question again?
What do you think they could have planned that would be too ambitious for current gen consoles?
Right, I was thinking about that. I completely lost the question.
Yeah,
I think maybe they want to have a busier map. Because right now it was quite busy, but there were spots that were a little bit open and not many zombies around. So maybe they want to have more busyness in the map, and I don't know.
Yeah, I can see where you got that one. And Michael, what about you? Sorry, I've got to have it calling you Michael now.
It doesn't bother me. It's a nice change, actually. It's better than Micamus, which my mate calls me. Micamus Decimus Aureus. Well, I'm not as technically minded as some of the people on this podcast. I mean, Ben's usually the guy for that sort of thing, I guess. But I hazard a guess and just say, I don't know, maybe. I'm not sure. I'm trying to think. 4K, bigger worlds. I mean, I'm just like pulling stuff out of my arse here. I really don't know, because I mean, it's so early in this generation of consoles for them to say that what they have in mind is too ambitious. It's that's a big statement. That is. I mean, I'm not an expert on this sort of stuff because I haven't played Dying Light, but I mean, isn't not Dead Island, Dead Rising 3, doesn't that have hundreds of zombies on screen at any one time or something crazy like that?
But that looks far worse than Dying.
Oh, it does. Oh, okay,
it does.
Yeah. Right. All right, okay, fair enough. Well, yeah, well, I'm guessing they're going for something correct. I'll just say that they're going for something along the lines of Dead Rising with the amount of zombies on screen, but they want to keep the same visual fidelity and frame rate or something like that.
The other thing I thought of that might be a thing is might be going for the MMO angle and having many people in a consistent, persistent world, which means they'd have to make a very big map.
Yeah.
So yeah, that to me would be the idea of.
But then you got Final Fantasy, which is a massive game, and that runs okay.
True, it does, but maybe it's ambitious because so far in that genre, because there is actually that genre of survival games that are MMOs, such as H1Z1 and DayZ, and yet we've still not seen anything on consoles with them. So until that sort of side of things is tested, because I know it's obviously an MMO again, like you say, but it's a different kind. And if they wanted to make a game that's like this with that in, it would take a lot more tech, especially to keep the visual consistency and make it look good, everything work right, especially with the parkour in there as well. Yes, Mike, you still have to get onto this game.
I know. I really should now. I'm done with a few other things. I should be able to squeeze that in.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I'll make you a deal. I'll finish Resident Evil Remake on the PS4 if you play Dying Light.
Oh, right. So I've got to play a big, massive scope of a game and you've got to go through Resident Evil.
It's a fair trade.
And seriously, you haven't completed Resident Evil Remake on PS4?
It's reviews. They just take me away from things.
Oh, right. Okay,
I've put it back on. Now I've got a bit of space on my hard drive.
No, seriously, that game, out of all the games that I've missed out on, that game does look awesome. So yeah, I will pick that up. I think definitely.
It's up. I was saying to Kevin earlier, it's one of those that's up there this year. At the end of the year, even with all the things still to come out, it'll probably be in the top 10. I think.
Yeah,
it was definitely surprisingly well, because I feel like there's way too much zombie games out there right now. And I didn't really feel the whole thing, because I was like, God, another zombie game. And then I thought, you know what, I'm just going to go for it and try it out.
Yeah.
Since it has co-op as well with a friend, we played together and actually really enjoyed it. It was a really good game. So I just really didn't like the ending.
No, the ending was wank, to be fair.
Exactly.
Really
exactly. But further, it was a really good game with a shit ending.
Yeah, I mean, like I said before, the music, brilliant. The atmosphere, brilliant. There's scenes in that are just some of the best scenes I've played this generation, no doubt.
You know, it really just looked beautiful.
You know, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt there. You know what really caught me, Neil, is when you described it as sounding, with the sound effects and the sort of the soundtrack sounding like Day of the Dead. George A. Romero's Day of the Dead.
It's like that bit John Carpenter in the 80s sort of style to it. It's just beautiful music like that. And the day-night cycle, I'll repeat this, going on and on. It works so well because dark is dark. Yeah, that's it. You
barely see anything.
You barely see anything, and you risk yourself by putting your lights on. It's like, as I'll probably go on to later, I've played a bit this week, so rather than mention it later, I'll mention it now. I'm doing New Game Plus on it. It's it's just still really, really good game. As I almost feel like I undersold it with the review, because I only gave it 8 out of 10 at the time. But I don't know, I'm almost inclined to think that it's better than that now. I think when the DLC comes out, it'll be better again, because they'll have this whole extra area, vehicles, and it's.
I'll pop on Amazon now and see how much it's going for.
You probably get it fairly cheap, yeah. If you get season pass, you'll get the big DLC pack for free as well. So that's coming out. So yeah.
Wow, it's pretty cheap. 27 quid.
There you go. Get that. Get the season pass. Be done. It'll be awesome. Then when that comes out, we can all jump on it again and have fun.
Nice. Yeah.
All right.
Well, I have it as well. So.
Oh yes. Sorry, yes, Ben. Did I talk to you, Ben, on this one?
Not sure.
Not sure. Hey, Ben.
Well, this is Beaver Zombie Edition as well. What's that?
Beaver Zombie. That's in the game anyway. It's like originally they were going to have it as separate, but because they had the whole thing where the game released digitally only for a month before the physical release, they made it free to anyone who bought the physical copy anyway. So yeah, it's basically a multiplayer invasion mode where you can go into other people's games as this super zombie that jumps around and has like tentacles and stuff, and either try and take all them out.
It's fun.
Yeah, it was fun, but on the other end of it, when you're trying to get on with the game, it's bloody annoying. It's just
I don't have a season pass edition.
Nah, that's it. Just get it separately. I think it's fairly cheap. It's some good stuff in there. There really is.
Yeah, nice.
Right. That's the end of the main news stories. There's only one review this week, but it came with quite a fun little side story at the end of it all. Our dear own Carl Prowl reviewed Everybody's Gone to the Rapture, which is currently a console exclusive to PS4. It's what the young folks are calling a walking simulator, where you just go around a map and explore and discover things. Now, he gave it 6.5 in his review, and I will go into the why in a second. The main thing that came out of it, and not just his review, and many reviews, is the pacing of it was very slow, in the sense your character cannot move very fast at all. Now, before I go into the main point on this, he liked the incredible atmosphere, the graphics and music, and the fresh take on the plot points. He didn't like, as we said, the slow movement, the dull exploration, and he also didn't like the limited avenues to which the story is told. After the reviews were done, the Chinese Room, the company that made the game, came out with a statement saying, "Hey, there is a run button, but due to circumstances beyond our control, we forgot to put it in to the game or any press releases or anything like that." And yeah, so this thing that was causing a lot of reviewers to go negative on it, saying, "Oh, it's it dissuades you from going and exploring the map because you can't move fast enough. That's going to dull your experience." Some people loved it; they like that pace. But the negative ones all seem to agree that was the main problem. It was slow. Turns out, anyway, this run button wasn't even that great a run button either. It's more like a slow jog. So Kyle, who reviewed it, then did a little article on it afterwards saying he would not change his score based on the fact that, one, it was the experience he went in with. So that's the way he sees it. And to be honest, he didn't feel that the run button added anything to the game that would merit, adding to the score. But you could argue on this point that if the run button had been in there to begin with, could it have changed his opinion slightly? You don't know. So little question to everyone is, do you think that, once a game is out, re-reviewing something based on what comes out of that, say it be Unity, Assassin's Creed Unity with the post-patches or Drive Club when the servers worked, or in this case where it's a mechanic that's not explained. Do you believe that there's always a case for re-reviewing a game and then maybe adjusting your score accordingly, or is it just on a case-by-case sort of term? Mike?
That's always a tough one, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah. I mean, there have been games there have been a lot of instances where they've like a game hasn't. Well, I think you just mentioned Assassin's Creed Unity, which performs like pretty badly on launch, like in terms of what the reviewer has seen, and then they patch it later on, and you're forced to I mean, I haven't actually done that before. Kind of changed the score or whatever, or been forced to rethink anything like that. I've been lucky enough just to get the game, and there hasn't been anything majorly wrong that's been fixed yet. But I don't know. It is difficult, really. I think unless it's a game changer, I don't really think you should go back and change it at all. I think you should stick with what you got, because at the end of the day, you're reviewing the product. What you've got at the time. Like what it is in front of you, what you've got there, and I think you should just stick to your guns on that. And as long as you make sure as long as it's clear that's what you're reviewing, anything that changes after that is maybe you can put something in usually I think we do like a little note at the bottom or something and say this has changed, this is. I mean, I think War Thunder is quite a good example because that's changed a lot since it's been released, but that's a different type of game. That's a free-to-play game, so I kind of they always update that kind of stuff, but I don't know. I think Carl was right in this instance, actually, especially because it's not really a game changer, so I don't really think there's any need to change the score at all.
No, in this case, it sounds like it's very minimal.
Yeah, if it's minimal, then yeah. If it's like, unless they completely revamp a specific mechanic that completely like influences how you play and completely change, like I said, a game changer completely changes how you play a game, then I don't think there's any need to do it. And in this instance, it was the differences were pretty. The impact it had is very relatively minor, so I don't really think there's any need to change the score at all, to be honest. Because there's a lot more. At the end of the day, I think there's far more to focus on about what makes a game and just having been able to move faster.
Yeah,
that's just me anyway.
Yeah, that's fair enough, I'd say.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. Mike, I will get you to talk amongst this with Kevin and Ben, because I just need to pop off a second.
Okay.
I will back shortly.
Okie doke. Well, I am taking over. All right. Right in the hot seat. Got my earphones. Got my microphone. Thank you. Okay, well, that's what I have to say on that anyway. Kevin, what do you think about this?
I can't really say that much about it. I mean, reviewing a game because something has changed is a bit too much in my eyes. I don't see the use of it. I mean, every game gets updates, and every game gets better
Yeah.
normally with updates. There are some that get worse, but that's a whole other meaning. So
Yeah.
but yeah, seeing if every game gets an update and you would have to re-review each update, that would be just ridiculous.
Yeah, I think when a reviewer's job is to review the product in front of them at the time, regardless of whether or not updates are obviously coming, you've got to say what it's like, how it is then. And I think if things change, then fair enough, you can perhaps, make a note of this and stuff. But you're reviewing something as it is, and there's no. I think that should be reflected in the score there. You shouldn't need to really go back and change anything at all, unless like I said, unless it's something like a game changer that is, but I don't really think a game wouldn't really be released that's that broken that it would need to be completely fixed up like that. With for something to be so badly shipped so badly that they need to update it so that it would be completely, so it would totally influence how you play the game and everything. I just don't think that that sort of thing happens. So I think,
Batman PC.
Oh, okay.
Don't forget about that. Batman Arkham Knight, the PC edition. They actually took it out of the stores and stuff.
Oh,
because
right.
It just didn't play anything.
Oh,
didn't
right. Well,
work for crap.
That in that case, then fair enough. Yeah, I mean, obviously that merits a re-review, but yeah. So you agree in this case, you don't reckon it was necessary at all, then?
Yeah, that's one case where I would agree. Like, okay, if a game doesn't work and you actually fix the game, I can understand the re-review. But we added sprint. Oh my god, re-review. No, that's just useless work.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you're with me on that. Yeah, and I believe Neil is back in the hot seat now. So there you go, Neil. Here's the headphones.
Sorry, that's the problem. You have 2 glasses of Coke and 2 beers before the podcast, and then you think, yeah, I'll be all right. Then you forget you're going to be talking a lot.
I have to admit, sometimes I've done that loads of times, Matt. I've managed to stealth off to the toilet while everyone else is talking. Well, I say, okay, what do you think? And then I just let you guys go, quickly sneak out.
I just keep thinking, but then I got an opinion on this, then I got an opinion on that. Oh, I don't want to go too far. So has everyone talked about it now? Or
Ben, moving on to Ben, I think.
Yes, Ben. Go on, Ben.
It depends on the game, to be honest. I really don't think a game should be re-reviewed, to be honest.
Would you say the case of such as Final Fantasy 14, where it's consistently changing, that you could sort of re-review it on a 6-monthly basis?
Well, there's a big, massive update every 3 months with Final Fantasy that adds all new content.
Yeah.
That's the only sort of games I can... free-to-play games or MMOs are the only games I can see a reason to re-review because all the new content.
Yeah.
But apart from that, there's not really many games. Even the Arkham Knight, I don't think... I know it's been fixed, but that doesn't mean it deserves to be re-reviewed. It should have been released broken in the first place. And people need to recognise that, it was broken, and...
I totally agree on that one. Did anyone mention what Garri said in the chat?
No, I didn't. Sorry, I was...
That's cool. No, that's cool. I just didn't want to repeat myself or repeat what anyone else had said. Garri also added that it should be reviewed as the game is, no re-review. You're telling people if they should buy the game for what it is, because that's what everyone else is going to be playing, which I think has been the general consensus amongst us all.
Definitely.
There you go. That was both our one review of the week and a little debate. But it's not the only debate, because there's a section we have now every week where we discuss one major gaming point of the week. And it's very topical this week. So you know what, Ben? I'm going to get you to introducing me.
Well, introception.
Yeah, introception. Yeah, we double intro.
Okay, well, trying to think of something now.
Got you on the spot.
Oh, you got me on the spot. And you know what? Let's use that spotlight, drag it over a little bit, and put you on the spot as we banter with Bolt.
Christ, Kevin. Seriously.
What?
Music.
Oh God, my ears! They bleed, sir.
You sent me a piece of music then, and I'll use that. Let's see how that goes.
You were the one that came to me and said that, you know what? I'm cool with music. I'm like Mr. Music. And here I am.
Mr. Music.
Yeah.
Really?
Good for you.
Every week you say this. It's like, I got this. No worries. I know music. I'm totally cultural in this way. But no, we get this every week where you pick some cockamamie thing that doesn't make any sense as to what we're talking about. How is this in any way relevant to what we're going to talk about?
Who said it has to be relevant?
I think I know.
It has to catch the listener's ears.
No, it doesn't have to tear the ears off, though, Kevin.
I've got an idea.
That's not what the music does.
I've got an idea how it's connected. I've worked it out. You're very smart there, Mr. Kevin. Because
I know.
we're going to talk about a horror game. So you thought, what better way to make you get ready for a horror game than horrible music?
Yeah.
Ben gets it.
Sure. Okay.
Horror music.
Anyway, let's go on and actually do bantering with Bolt. Yes.
Banter.
That was an improvement.
We'll just use that from now on then.
Yeah, that's it. We'll just get everyone to say banter.
Banter, mushroom.
Anyway, Resident Evil 2 is getting remade. After all the rumours have been circulating, all the teasing, and probably because other big Japanese games have got the green light to go ahead and get remade.
That and Mike forced them all at Muscle Point.
So yes, the question this week.
Bicep lock.
It was as simple as, Kevin, in fact, I'll let you pose it as you put it in the forums.
Okay, so this week's question: Resident Evil 2 remake, hit or shit?
There you go. So, and Kevin, we'll start with your reply as it was the first reply.
Basically, I just noted down that I don't know if it will be a hit or shit, as I haven't played any games of the Resident Evil series myself. But I do really hope that they will actually listen to the fans and just go for that. Not just like, let's just do this, we feel this is good. No, listen to the fans, go on that.
Yeah, which we're hoping
that's a good move.
The case. There's so the comments we got in the forums again this week, JJ03 said it should be a hit, could well be shit. He really went in with a theme there. Former podcaster, I say former because he's just not on that often. Adam Byrne says, when it comes to fully fledged remakes, I always like to take the stance of, well, if it's crap, forget it existed and focus entirely on the greatness of the original, since that won't change. And if it turns out great, then hey, another updated version of an amazing game. Sweet. In Resident Evil 2's case, it's in my top 3 games of all time. Pretty much agreed. And it's Hirabashi at the helm. It could go either way. Mel King Slime says, well, I liked Resident Evil 2, but I would like for the camera controls to be more like Resident Evil 4. No, that's the wrong way. It's like, as long as it's not going to be like Resi 6, where the zombies take an unusually high amount of bullets in the head before going down for some stupid bullshit reason, as he puts it, I'd be happy with the remake. Let's see, who else has a good opinion? Duffman, as always, has a good opinion.
Hey, Duffman.
Good old Duffman. I have my fingers crossed for it being a hit. Would be majorly disappointed if it was shit, especially after I've been waiting so long for it. Good rhyme there, Duffman. So, guess we shall wait and watch to see this space. And MacP simply said, gore at 1080p, yes, please. Mm-hmm. So, yes. Well, I will add my opinion here straight away. I'm really in two minds about it. It's like, Resident Evil 2 is one of my favorite games ever. As me and Mike have often discussed on this, I play it every year, and to me it holds up. I really don't know how they're going to do it, especially with Kamiya not being on board for this one, as he was Resi 2. So I want it to be good, I really do. A nice alternative, but I just don't know. This is the Capcom that made Operation Raccoon City. after all. Not the one that made Resi Remake, so to speak, the original version.
Dane says hi, it was awesome.
So the next best person to go to on this subject is quite clearly Michael Harradence.
This could warrant a podcast of its own, Neil.
It really could.
Me and you just bantering all the time, but I'll try and be as concise as I can. Remaking Resident Evil 2, the idea itself makes me ecstatic because, like you said, it's one of my favourite games of all time. Damn, I'm tapping again. Sorry.
It's the excitement.
Yeah, it is. Ding, 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 ding. Yeah. It's one of my favourite games of all time. I love Resident. Those three games. A remake of any of those games would just be fantastic. Obviously, we got one, but two or three is just amazing. To think we're getting that is brilliant. But I am still very concerned about what they're going to do about it, because if they mess it up, then it will be a tragedy, if you ask me. I think the only way they can do it is by making it like the Resident Evil remake. That is the pre-rendered backgrounds for tank controls, updating the visuals, obviously. Just laughing at something Kevin posted, completely unrelated, sorry. Taptap.com, I think it was. Yeah, I just don't think they can do it any other way. I mean, if they make it like Resident Evil 4, that was a great game in itself, but it's not Resident Evil to me. That's not how Resident Evil 2 should be. To turn it into an action shooter would just be a disservice, and it would just be a disservice to Resident Evil 2. I think because it stands up so well and because it's still a fantastic game, nearly 20 years on, it's 18 years old, Resident Evil 2 is. I think that the only reason they should consider doing it is to do it justice and make it better. If they're not going to do that, then I don't think they should bother. And I really don't think there's any other way they can justify a remake than by sticking to the original template, updating the graphics, maybe put a few more things in there. Like they can update some of the gameplay, maybe the inventory system. They could add some more stuff in there because with the backstory's been fleshed out a lot. You've got Nemesis, obviously, which wasn't around when Resident Evil 2 came out, so they could kind of link it to Nemesis, because obviously Jill was in the RPD prior to Leon and Claire, and Nemesis was there. They could add the smash window in the RPD. They could have explain more about the barricades going up. Little bits and pieces like that.
They could feasibly add both stories into one.
They could, yeah. And I read some people there's been a lot of these what they should do articles that have popped up.
Yeah.
They should. I think they could. Some people suggested they should add Nemesis in there. I don't know how that would work, but I personally wouldn't want Nemesis to come up as like a full-on appearance, because he didn't. At the end of the day, he didn't do that. And
you also already have Mr. X, and
you have Mr. X. Exactly.
Yeah, whatever that guy said.
Yeah.
I agree with that person. See, he is very smart. He just said that. I agree with it.
Sorry, that was a bit of interference from Garri there. But yeah, I think they could have references to Nemesis and tie it in nicely. They could have a few other bits and pieces that they actually added from Outbreak, because they had the survivors escaping through a secret tunnel, which Marvin Branagh, aka Will Smith cop, instigated.
Oh, well, the player's Will Smith.
Yeah, they could have, they could tie up a few things there, but I don't think that they should go all out and try and. I don't think they should have too much of Nemesis in there, but Garri actually just said they should have some of the original ideas from Resident Evil 2 in there, and I think that would be a good idea, because they had body armor. Your clothes would get ripped as you played. They had they had more varied zombie types, for one thing. Actually, the Resident Evil 2 zombies we got, they weren't actually anywhere near as good as the 1.5 zombies. They were much more deep. They weren't quite as detailed, but they came in all shapes and sizes. You could blow them in half and stuff. I know you could do that in the original, but the final version, but it was a lot more pronounced. It was a lot gorier as well. I'd love to see Elsa Walker get a little nod, maybe on a missing poster or something. That'd be kind of cool. But at the end of the day, I just think they should remake it they should follow the remake template, the Resident Evil 1 remake template. That was a perfect remake in every way. The way they stuck to the original, but they added parts around it without compromising the integrity of the original PlayStation game. They should do exactly the same with this. I know I went on a bit too much there, but there's just so much to say, It's I think if they got this right, it could be the best thing since sliced bread. I mean, can you imagine Raccoon City in pre-rendered backgrounds on PS4, it would look photorealistic. I mean, look how good Remake looks now.
I know, for a game that is, 12 years old?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, look, it could look amazing, but on the other side, if they mess it up, it could be an absolute disaster. I mean, can you imagine Leon going to a merchant? What you buying, stranger? Can you imagine doing that?
Oh god,
That'd be amazing.
No. Not in Raccoon City.
It's zombie. It has to be perfectly zombies as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So classic zombies as well. Yeah, and also if they're going to keep the weapon system upgrade, then make sure that you find the weapons in the game, not buy them or anything with gems. You have to find them and upgrade them, like in the original.
Yeah.
So yeah, sorry. That's what. Hopefully that kind of covers what I want, Neil. Hopefully it's the same as you.
Yeah, same. I said Steve Burns did a video this week and pretty much said most of that. So yeah,
I know he did. I didn't actually watch it. Oh, great! I'm glad he agrees because I never got to talk to him about Resident Evil during a recent event I went to. So I'm glad to hear he's still on he's on the same wavelength as us.
Yeah, he's happy about it by the sound of it. So
yeah.
Provided it goes ahead. So
yeah.
So let's move on to the others here. It's Kevin. What about you?
I already replied, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Ben.
Sorry, of course you did. Sorry.
Yeah.
Well, I never really played Resident Evil 2, so there's not much I can say anyway. So,
man, you guys have got. In a way, I'm jealous about you guys. You've got a lot of great stuff to discover. You should get them all on PlayStation 1, 2, and 3 on on PSN. Download them.
Yeah,
really
Kevin,
good.
You got Vita, haven't you, Kevin?
Yeah, I do.
There you go. Download them on there.
Are they worth it? No, I mean,
that's an objective.
There's always games that are disappointing in a series, so that's what I mean. Are they worth it?
I'm only winding you up. Yes, Resident Evil 2 is probably the best one. Ask anyone, they say it's the best one out of the three. Personally, I like number 1 the best, but I think Resident Evil 2 is a better game.
2 is just the purest.
Yeah,
it is just the proper Romero zombies sort of thing to it.
Yeah.
Where 1 is more of a haunted house sort of game.
Yeah, 1 is very classic survival horror. 2 is slightly more. I got a good analogy. Resident Evil 1 is Terminator 1. Resident Evil 2 is Terminator 2.
Yeah.
In the sense that it moves on to the next level. And Resident Evil 3 isn't Terminator 3. It's actually really good.
It's aliens.
Yeah, it's aliens.
So
yeah,
it's more run and gun and.
Yeah, it's very, very difficult though. If you're going to fight Nemesis, it is really tough. Yeah.
All right.
So,
yeah.
Cool. We all talked about Resi again. Always
yeah.
a good thing.
You know, when this game comes out or we hear more about it, we're going to have to do a podcast on it.
I'll be going on about it forever. Like I said, it is just one of my favourite games.
Can I just say, though, the next few years, I mean, let's just say that these things are going to be good. Final Fantasy VII Remake and Resident Evil 2. What an awesome time to be a gamer, eh?
I know. Just think about it. It's like there'll be a new Elder Scrolls. There'll be new this, that, new Resi, new Shenmue, new...
Oh, yeah, God, Shenmue. Yeah, Shenmue 3, Resident Evil 2 Remake, Final Fantasy VII Remake. Oh, what
it's like we've gone back in time.
What reality have I woken up in?
And yet there's Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5.
Well, it's like we went back in time because the graphics are like...
It's like... I've got a theory about that, actually. That it's actually going to be some sort of meta comment on the game. And that basically Tony Hawk's just going back to the old games because he's so ashamed of the more recent ones. And he'll do like a Rocky-style montage of getting back in training by playing through all his old games.
Yeah.
And he'll fight his way to a brand new game. So that's why the graphics are shit.
And that's why they changed the art style, like literally 2 months before it comes out.
That's it.
Yeah, what's the story with that? What were the graphics were bad and then they changed them and they were worse? Is that right or something?
Yeah, I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
The last game I saw that went cel shaded to hide bad graphics was Escape Dead Island.
Well, Borderlands changed quite fast as well, from slightly realistic to cel shading.
Yeah, but it didn't do it to hide bad graphics, which is definitely what Tony Hawk's has tried to do, I think. Which is anyway. Enough with the nostalgia for 1 more minute, I suppose. Let's talk about.
Kevin just linked me to a PlayStation Tour thing with Resident Evil 1, 2, and 3 bundle, €14.99. I was like, yep, perfect.
That's it.
That's what I'm about.
All right. Add to cart.
Yeah. Well, no. I just want to say, look, dude, Don't get them if they're really not your thing. I mean, I don't want you to waste money, but just remember these are old games. They don't play like modern games, but me and Neil love them to death. Yeah, hopefully you can appreciate them. I didn't want you to get them if you really didn't want to.
Too late, bought it.
Oh, okay. I got that in though. At least I said it.
No, I'm gonna try them out anyway. I'm always curious to meet to play hashtag. No, not hashtag. Quotes. New games.
Hashtag Resident Evil.
I'm always interested for that, so why not? I'm gonna play them on my Vita though.
Yeah,
definitely.
Don't play them on a console. Not now.
No, they look like arse. Seriously.
Yeah, they're great, and I think it's the director's cut of Resident Evil in that pack as well. So
it is. Yeah,
it's the better version by far.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm gonna download them now.
There you go. And if you at home have never played Resident Evil, do the same.
Hashtag play Resident Evil.
Okay, we've done all our features basically, so we are left with that one final thing that we do every single week without fail. Apart from that 1 week we didn't do it. What have you been playing is the question, as ever. Now, that question will have to go to Ben Shillabeer-Hall.
Yay! Well, the first thing I've been playing this week was Final Fantasy XIV had the summer event. Basically unlocked some swimsuits from doing a bit of crafting.
I was actually about to say, what was it? Swimsuits and picnic baskets.
Yeah, a little swimsuit. You had to craft fish and chips to trade in.
Really?
Yeah, it was amazing. But a lot of people were scamming people because of the fact that you had to craft it. So they were charging ridiculous prices for said fish and chips, like $5,000 each, when it takes about 50 gil maybe to make one. So what I did on the day it came out was I spent 2 hours crafting fish and chips. I literally had 300 fish and chips in my inventory. So I went to the area where you're supposed to trade them in and started shouting out, giving them away for free.
You were fighting the power.
Yeah, so everyone left because they got sick of the fact that I just gave them out for free.
Nice.
Yes, you saint.
Yes, you saint. Saving people from the touts.
Yeah. I made money though because people would donate as a thank you, but
that's good. The good guy act.
Yeah.
So you're basically tricking them.
It's a long con.
I made $500,000 from donations.
Excellent. But
yeah,
as much as you want to talk about that game, there's definitely
another
game.
Yeah, it's another game. No, I'm playing right now. In fact, I'm playing this entire podcast secretly.
I know, but yeah.
Goat Simulator.
Of course.
It's the greatest game ever made.
I think it's been a good 20 podcasts since this whole discussion first came up.
Yeah, I'm currently running around as an angel goat, trying to find the last few statues so I can get a trophy, because I'm at 60% now.
Wow. This could be Ben's first ever platinum.
Yeah, first ever platinum could be Goat Simulator. I'm at 60% of the trophies. There's only one trophy that I know I will struggle with, and it will take me forever to get.
Which is?
10 points in Flappy Goat. Which, if anyone's played Flappy Bird, knows how annoying it is.
Oh, but in a 3D space, that would be a nightmare.
No, you play your goat stood in front of a TV and...
Oh, right, okay. So, does it play well on console?
There's a bit of a frame rate issue when there's too much going on, and I found a few interesting glitches. Like, basically there's mutators which will change your goat. So, say you've got the shopping goat, it turns your goat into a shopping cart. Or the giant goat, which turns you into a whale. Or perhaps tall goat, which is a giraffe. If you put on devil goat, angel goat, repulsive goat at the same time along with rip goat, if you press triangle to use your move, the game just goes a bit weird. And then if you press circle to activate ragdoll, you'll literally just fly off into the sky, and your arms and your legs will just stretch out randomly. You look like a bit like Slender Man, but goat.
Nicely done.
So you just fly around.
Slender Goat.
That's actually in the game as well. If you go to a graveyard, you can find Slender Man running around.
Awesome.
I licked him and then ran off with him, because if you lick things, you carry them. So I carried Slender Man. but because the game's not supposed to let you do that, his arm was like still glitched into the wall where he's supposed to be. So when you look back, all you can see was this big long arm stretched across the entire map.
Man, so you're enjoying it?
Oh, I'm enjoying it. It's definitely worth the £8.
Yeah. There's one more game you were playing this week that isn't PlayStation based, but I wanted to talk about it as well, which is a Fallout Shelter.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, how you found that?
Not too bad. I've already spent money on it, but that's me with free-to-play games. Yeah, it's pretty good. I'm enjoying it.
It's a thing. It's actually really quite alright. I normally abhor mobile games, but in the last month or so, I've now got 2 that I play on my phone a lot. So
you don't have to. By the way, anyone who's listening, you don't have to pay anything really because.
No, I don't. So.
No, I only buy because I'm impatient and I like shiny things.
Yeah, it just gets you sort of pumped for the next Fallout game. It's good at what it does in that respect, and then just the little strategy management thing, and it's quite dark in the sense that you have to use your women to pump out babies to get just to keep the population up, and
also I'm not bothering with a radio room.
No, because it attracts death claws now.
Yeah, I've decided not to bother.
Yeah, I like the when you send people out on expeditions, you get the text log of what they've been doing while they're out. It's just like,
yeah. Some of them, I wish I wasn't going out here, or thank God I've got my Pip-Boy.
Yeah.
Or I think one of my favourite ones is when he finds someone that's been injured and he patches them up, and he gets XP.
Yeah. Stuff like that. It's just some cool little touches to it. It's just very reminiscent of the Fallout universe, where there's just this sort of dark humour running through it. Where there's all this tweeness to it, but it's still very, oh God, yeah, he's the end of the world, and it's still very grim underneath it all.
I'm just happy that whatchamacallit, it doesn't use ammo.
No, it doesn't. Mercifully,
no,
it would be quite rubbish, I think, if it did. But yeah, it's Fallout Shelter, quite good, free to play, not a bad way to spend a couple of hours, I'd say. So, anything else, Ben?
I tried to play another. I don't know if I can. I should be able to. I tried to play another game that uses the camera. I'm not going to say what it was because I'm not sure if I'm allowed to talk about it yet or if it's even out yet. But yeah, it has. I'm a big lad. I'm a big guy, and for some reason the camera decides that I don't exist. So yeah, it's a very good game if I existed.
But unlike Final Fantasy 15, it doesn't acknowledge Ben Shillabeer-Hall's love of black clothing.
No, it's like, oh, you have legs. No, you don't anymore. Oh, you have arms. No, you don't anymore. It's weird because I'm there, you can see me there, then suddenly I'm just flashing in and out of existence.
So basically you're a flying torso.
Yeah, I'm pretty much a flying torso.
Awesome.
With no arms.
Cool. Well, I think we'll move on to Mike. I assume it'll be a short list this week, Mike?
Yeah, I've only played War Thunder this week. I literally just been every evening after work. If I'm not eating or working out, I've just been watching One Foot in the Grave or playing War Thunder.
Right into the old One Foot in the Grave then.
See, I've been watching Red Dwarf myself.
Oh, sweet. 2 classic British comedies. Yeah,
I cannot even say that I've been watching anything as near as respectable. My son wanted to watch Dino Trucks on Netflix, which is basically dinosaurs that are also construction vehicles. So it's
wow, that's a new one on me.
There you go.
For my niece,
sounds amazing.
It is secretly.
My niece was into Dora the Explorer and Bob the Builder and stuff like that, so I had to endure some of that. Then I got her into Mario, so all she wanted to do was just play. Oh no, I tell a lie, because she was round here on Wednesday. I played Super Mario All Stars on my SNES. Oh, yeah, we went through. She was watching me on the lost levels, failing miserably most of the time. That game is so bloody hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, still great though. I just love booting up the SNES. I'd much rather play it on the SNES rather than an emulated version. You know.
Yeah, definitely.
If you can, that is, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've just been on War Thunder mainly. I've been, just enjoying playing some lower tier battles because I like the dogfighting. It's not just boom, you're dead with massive cannons and stuff. So yeah, I enjoy playing. I'm playing as the I'm playing as the Americans a lot. Actually, I quite like them. Trying and be realistic battles a bit better, which is it's not so forgiving as arcade as you can imagine by the name. I've been doing quite well in that, which is pretty good. When I just came off it before this podcast, I was in a realistic battle, and when someone stole my kill, which was rather annoying. But yeah, I'm just enjoying War Thunder. It's good fun. I'll be back on. That's what I do. I dip into it for a couple of weeks, sometimes a month or more. Then I usually dip back into Destiny and vice versa. So yeah, I'm in a War Thunder mode right now.
Yeah, we've all got games like that.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Good. So yeah, that brings us to Kevin. What about you? I'm sure we share a game in common this week, I believe.
Yeah, the PES 2016 demo.
Yes, very much.
Which is, for someone who usually played FIFA, I'm not going to say I have every single FIFA, but usually if I wanted to play a football/soccer, whatever you want to call it, whenever I wanted to play one of those games, I went to FIFA. But I felt like I would check out PES, just see what the difference is and stuff, and honestly, it feels a lot smoother and just cleaner. So, pre-ordered it. So that's done.
Yeah, that's done. Another one on the team. So
not going to waste any time on that. Pre-ordered it. So
it's definitely feels very smooth this year. It's just it's the extra frames of animation. I think someone pointed out to me earlier. It's the fact that in FIFA, a lot of the animations get caught up in each other when they're doing certain moves. So you end up with these weird sort of falling over themselves, doing weird stuff that doesn't really look like real people. Whereas PES 2016 shows that each animation just snaps off to the next one smoothly, no fuss, no mess, and it just works so much better. I mean, last year was a huge improvement on 2014, but it still had its flaws, and it looks like this is going to totally eradicate them. I'm really, really quite looking forward to it again this year.
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised because usually, personally, I'm not a big fan of sports games because it's just like, it's still the same sport. You can improve, but only so little, especially since they bring out a new one every year.
Yeah.
So I was kind of pleasantly surprised in the difference between FIFA and PES. So hence the reason I pre-ordered it.
Good stuff. Anything else you played this week?
I just popped onto Borderlands pre-sequel with my friend. We're doing it co-op. Not on PlayStation, still on PC, but all that aside, still a game.
Yeah, that's it. Well, I was talking about mobile games, so
Yeah, it's not a bad game, but personally, I can already admit I prefer Borderlands 2. Plays better.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that in my mind. I mean,
that was a really good one, and I had some moments where we just randomly laughed at stuff that were happening, and this feels like they're actually trying to make it even funnier, but they're kind of failing at it. And I'm not saying it's a bad game, but so far it feels a bit slow at the beginning because we haven't played that much yet.
Which is kind of criminal because it's much shorter than Borderlands 2 as well. For it to have such a slow start, it doesn't need it. It should be a bit zippier.
Yeah, indeed. So yeah, that's another game. What else? I've been playing Sound Shapes.
Yeah,
which is free on PSN.
Yeah, I played a bit.
Well, no, PS Plus, not PSN.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's a really interesting game. It's fun, relaxing. At least I think it's relaxing. But just it's actually a really nice, simple yet very nice concept that you could just play and progression. You know what? Just the further you get throughout the level, my English today. Just the further you get throughout the level, the music progresses.
That's it.
Yeah, that came out right.
Yeah,
and that's actually a really fun and interesting concept. I like it. So definitely having fun with that.
It reminds me a bit of New Minds, is the puzzle game in the sense of where you have to drop shapes, and if you do it, it makes the music change as you do it. It's like, it's another Sony game. So
I like these kind of sound using games. Like how stupid it may sound, but Patapon, I fucking love that.
Yeah, Patapon again.
It was ridiculously fun for what it was. So that was really good, and I'm glad to see there's still games out there that try to use audio as their base.
Yeah, it's definitely a lost art in a lot of ways. There's a game coming out soon, actually, which is, I think is it Crypt of the Necromancer? It is, where you basically have to, it's an RPG top down that you have to make your moves in time to the music to get critical hits. It's really cool in that sense.
Sounds interesting. Maybe I'll have a look at it.
Yeah, it's an interesting little title. That's the sort of thing that's nice to see. There, as you said, there are still games that do that sort of thing.
Yeah, indeed.
Cool. Anything else?
I gotta think for a second. Well, the usual Call of Duty 4. I'll play it until the very last server is down on PC. Still love that one. The new Call of Duty games are just complete. But I still love Call of Duty 4. I think that's kind of it, really. Cool.
Excellent. Well, as you might have noticed, I've mostly covered most of the games I've played twice, adding them to your guys. But I also will give my weekly Minecraft update. I befriended some wolves. That was nice. 2 of them died, and then the other 2 died. But don't tell my son, because he'll be devastated. I took them down some deep caves, and I forgot that they don't do long jumps very well. So, yeah, that went badly. I also played a bit more of The Swindle, which is that procedurally generated 2D roguelike heist game that I reviewed a couple of weeks ago. And yeah, it's quite cool once you've sort of had a couple of plays through on it. So still a bit infuriating in places, but it's growing on me more and more. And as I mentioned earlier, I played a bit of Dying Light again, and yeah. And I'm hoping to play a bit more Resi tonight. I just hadn't been able to get around to it in ages. So I think I just got to the Crimson Head boss in that, and I need to get on and carry on again with that. It's a wonderful game. But yeah, I think that covers it. Wonderful. So we're done. We tried to keep it short. We didn't.
The usual.
The usual. We're just too damn informative. That's our problem.
We're too good.
Too good at action. I think Mike has a handle on this whole organizing it right just that bit better. That's the main thing. So I think we should go into the details. So starting with Mr. Mikey Muscles Harradence. Where can people find you on the interwebs?
Well, if they want to stalk / contact me, they can at mike.harradence@psu.com. And that's pretty much it.
Kevin, people may want to advise you on better taste in music. Where can they do that?
Never. No, you can find me on PSN. That's Kip Kebab 92. Stupid name. Still want to change it. Sony, please. You can find me on Twitter as I think it's Mr. Wax Weasel.
It is, yeah.
You can find me on the forums just as Wax Weasel. Very original. And you can mail me at kevin.rombouts@psu.com. But for those who don't know how to write it, info's in the descriptions on Podbean and YouTube.
Yes, because we're covering all the bases here.
Hell yeah.
Hells yeah. And Ben,
Yeah,
people might want to talk about goats with you.
Well, if you want to talk to goats about me, I'll go.
What would you? There are petting zoos all over the country.
I'm in your nearest one. Dressed as a goat.
Oh,
Ben.Shillabeer-Hall@psu.com, Chille_UK on Twitter, Chille on PSU, Chille on Neogaf, Chille on blah blah blah. Can I do a couple of things before we switch over?
by all means.
At the end of the month, soon, I shall be announcing another giveaway because I have reached 600 friends. In fact, I've just got another friend request. 614 friends. So if I will be doing a giveaway based on that. Thomas Gargan, you have won the Call of Duty t-shirt, so I'll be sending that sometime this week. As a little bonus, I have got a Destiny pre-order bonus poster, promotional thing. I've got 2 of them, so I'm going to put that in as well, so you get a free Destiny promotional promo poster
thing
of the Taken King. You're supposed to pre-order it, but well,
Yeah.
It's Ben.
So I'll be sending those sometime this week, probably when I get to the post office.
Fantastic. Okay.
And your address.
Okay, is that all your deets now out of the way?
That is all the deeps.
All your deeps out of the way. I would say thank you to everyone who's listening. As I said, as you just said about Thomas, always good. He was quite the fan of certain parts of the show. I think all of it really, but yeah.
Well, also hello, wife.
Yeah, we always have to do the hello, wife. So I'll say hello to my wife. She's not going to listen to it, and she's in bed. So.
Well, my wife will listen to this, probably, maybe.
My wife's normally in the other room rolling her eyes at what the hell I'm talking about. So at this point,
Well, technically, she's listening then.
yeah. But she does that a lot, to be honest. It's like anytime I talk about stuff like this, it's like earlier I was just trying to describe having a discussion with someone on Facebook. I say discussion, it's just me being vitriolic about PlayStation. And
So just like normal Facebook.
yeah. So yeah, she just sort of get that roll of the eyes glaze over, and I'm going to pretend. To be fair, I'm just as bad for that. But there you go. Anyway, if you'd like to talk to me and hope that I'm listening, you can find me on Twitter at Nezko. That's NEZZKO. Who is banging?
I'm mute myself, so it's not me.
Michael.
I wasn't doing attention, and I lay back in my chair and almost fell over, so I just put my hands out.
He fell asleep, so we better end this soon.
We better get him to bed.
Oh God, it is quite late actually. Usually I am in bed right now, way before now.
Well, we started late tonight, so
it's Saturday. Yeah,
Big boys stay up late.
Yeah, you're normally out on the town on a Saturday.
Yeah, it's out with the strippers and the
Who,
drinks.
me?
Yeah.
and oh God,
And the gyms.
I haven't been to a strip club for a while actually, but this time next week I will be in Amsterdam, and God knows what I'll be getting up to then.
I don't think we can mention it.
The podcast will be very high.
Give me a shout out.
Tune in to find out next week.
Same channel, same bat channel, same time.
Anyway, to carry on with my details.
Sorry.
It's all right, I interrupted myself. So you can also find me on email at neil.bolt@psu.com, and on PSN I'm sonofvenom, all one word, all lowercase. And yeah, as I've said before, I'm not very sociable. But do it anyway, because I don't have 614 friends like Ben. So sorry, 615.
Details.
It's a lot less. It's 2 figures, not 3. But yes, so that basically concludes the draw. All ties will be played in the week of January. Oh no, hang on, that's the FA Cup. We will be back next week, apart from Mike, who will be doing very debased things.
Oh my!
I will be sampling the culture of Holland.
Yeah, sure,
Yeah.
culture. That's what we'll go with that.
Culture, yes. Ben should be here if we can tear him away from the petting zoos of Middle England. And Kevin, when we can stop him from buying more and more collector's editions, should hopefully be with us too. And
If he's
Garri,
not drowning in it.
yeah, if he's not drowning in collector's editions, forcing himself to dig his way out with a copy of Shenmue 2. And provided I don't have a little sprogling that's been born in the next week, I'll be back too. It's like, but if not, I'm sure the podcast will go on as planned and probably a lot shorter. But I will, as ever, leave the final word to Mr. Shillabeer-Hall. Take it away, Ben.
Oh, well, I guess it's me. I've got in this. I'm thankful for Neil. Thank you for doing an amazing podcast. Thank you all for listening. But I think mainly we've got to thank God for me. I'm never wrong.
Tatty bye. 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 Bye.